Hello and welcome to We the People. Election season is well and truly here. With elections just now a few months away, many are prophesizing that this is going to be a volatile election year. In fact, there are many who are apprehensive that it is going to be a polarizing election year. For starters, the BJP has a prime ministerial candidate. We still don't know who the Congress's prime ministerial candidate will be. Also in this past week, the political heartland of India has seen horrific communal clashes and the army called in after 21 years. On We the People today, we look at the political environment in India and ask whether India's politics is hurtling back to the 90s. Let me start with you, Abhishek Singhvi, because in many ways the Congress's response to both the BJP's decision to declare a prime ministerial candidate and the very tragic incidents that have unfolded in Uttar Pradesh seem to underline a peculiar kind of Narendra Modi obsession. Do you believe the dynamics of this election campaign are going to be impacted by the choice of Modi? And how much is the Congress going to keep blaming on Modi without finding its own answer to Modi?
I think, Barkha, is more the media which has this obsession with the appointment of a prime minister.
You don't think it's a legitimate political story?
Not at all. I'll tell you why.
To report who a prime ministerial candidate is?
I'm not blaming the media. I'm saying something quite different.
Yeah.
There are here forces at work who deliberately want to reduce this to a presidential debate. Now, it just doesn't work in our system. Unless you have a constitutional change, you will have decisions made on the basis of programs, policies, ideologies.
Yeah.
They will translate into support or non-support for a party, which in turn will elect a prime minister. So, howsoever much a whole class of people out there, whether in the capitalist world, in the non-capitalist world, in the media world, want to project and make it into a A versus B fight, which is perhaps, I would say, in a sense, a subtext of the Modi campaign. It is not true for India. And I am the last person, or the Congress is the last person to fall into that trap or a debate. What could be an event for us is the issues which Modi raises. They are national issues.
But to blame the UP riots on his ideology?
That's a different question. The first part was about the declaration of Modi. And I think the BJP would have a whole range of questions to answer there because they've now reduced the issue to Modi versus the rest. But as far as the Modi riot is concerned, Congress never blamed Modi directly. Congress has two things. One is, there is certainly amount of competitive Modism going on within the BJP.
What is competitive Modism?
Each person is falling
Everyone
over
wants
himself.
to be Narendra Modi.
Each person is falling over himself to proclaim an ardent admirer and supporter of Modi.
What does this have to do with Muzaffarnagar?
That's one. As far as Muzaffarnagar is concerned, we have squarely and openly blamed, first and foremost, the state government. We have said in addition that when you have a culture which Mr. Modi represents, a concept which Mr. Modi represents, and when you have his factotums like Amit Shah or others who go all over UP in this surcharged atmosphere like a tinderbox, I think it only accentuates, conflagrates, and that's the secondary contribution which Modism can have. After all, you can't get away from the fact, Barkha, that he went to Faizabad and made the statement. There's a BJP MLA who has said the other day कि हम शुरू करेंगे फैजाबाद से, गुजरात बनाएंगे उत्तर प्रदेश को. So these are issues which we are ultimately, I think we all have to try to solve a problem.
Chandan Mitra, here's the point. None of the political parties actually come across well when you look at what has happened in Uttar Pradesh. And I want to actually ask a larger question, which is whether we're hurtling back to the politics of the 90s, whether we're hurtling back to what Abhishek Singhvi may call competitive Modiism, but I would like to call competitive communalism. And when it comes to the BJP, you actually have 4 of your legislators booked for these riots in Uttar Pradesh. One of them is actually found guilty of sharing a fake YouTube video, which is 2 years old and has nothing to do with the present riots, which has certainly led to inflamed passions. On the one hand, you have Modi saying this is an election, I'm going to fight on governance. On the other hand, the BJP as a party is defending these 4 legislators.
Yes. See, there's really a separate kind of issue, I think, that cannot really be clubbed with the larger issues that you are raising. It's there could be a passing
reference. Isn't it an illustration of the construct?
I don't want to get trapped into the
Isn't it an illustration of the construct that we're looking at a more polarized political environment than we have seen in the last some years in India?
I think Congress has done its level best to try and polarize it.
For example?
Well, but their obsession with Modi and the constant, you see, waving of Modi as a kind of hawa, as they say, and to scare the minorities, whereas we say yes, lekin Gujarat banayenge in terms of development. Congress deliberately misinterprets this and says, देखो, कहा कि हम गुजरात बना देंगे. What do you mean गुजरात बना देंगे? गुजरात बना देंगे is a positive, is a very positive statement today.
But Abhishek's point
the
that
first phrase is different.
That Faizabad se shuru करेंगे. No one misses the import of Faizabad.
Yeah, what about Faizabad? I don't know. I mean, they didn't say we'll start with Ayodhya, they said Faizabad.
What is wrong with Faizabad, Abhishek?
The reference was clearly for the entire Ayodhya movement.
On the 4
Barkha, let's get real.
BJP legislators, and Congress will have to answer for its own Congress leaders, the Samajwadi Party will have to answer for it, the BSP will have to answer for it. All political parties have come out in shame.
I don't know who has defended.
Well, you've not taken a strong position against
that's
them.
Different.
All of your MLAs travelling to Muzaffarnagar backing these four men.
I don't recall any senior BJP leader. Now, some panchayat level leader issuing a statement.
Do you think they should be? Do you believe they should be arrested?
Law must take the toughest and most stringent action possible under the law. But you know, he avoided whole question of prime ministership. The Congress is not going to announce a prime ministerial candidate, to the best of my understanding, because they have a selection process. In case
they can still announce one.
By our sheer misfortune, the Congress party comes back to power, it will be Mrs. Sonia Gandhi who picks from a slip and says so and so is the Prime Minister.
Why does that bother you?
No, it doesn't bother
Why does that bother you?
It doesn't, but all this these days, Barkha, I must remind you, Congress spokespersons, authorized spokespersons, used to keep challenging us. Why aren't you naming your Prime Ministerial candidate? Now when we have named the person, they are silent. They say we don't need to announce.
Isn't it ironical, Barkha, that first you convert and try to convert a debate into presidential debate, and then you blame the Congress, which has had the most smooth transition of power 3 times. 10-year Prime Minister, 10-year Prime Minister, you may laugh, but contrary to Ms. Sushma Swaraj threatening to shave her head, Dr. Manmohan Singh becomes the Prime Minister, Narasimha Rao becomes the Prime Minister, and I think the people prefer that transition.
We've heard from the Congress and the BJP.
Who will shave his or her head in the Congress when Modi becomes Prime Minister? Who will? I am asking Abhishek.
We don't indulge in theatrics and dramatics.
Who will shave their head if Modi becomes Prime Minister? We'll park that question and return to it. But anyway, Gaurav Bhatia, very serious questions for the Samajwadi Party. The fact of the matter is that there have been over 100 communal clashes since Akhilesh's government came into power. The permissions to hold the Mahapanchayat in Uttar Pradesh, the permissions to hold the 30th August meeting where a number of Muslim leaders and Congress leaders gathered also made inflammatory speeches. In both of these big meetings, politicians have been booked. They have not been arrested. The larger question is that Akhilesh Yadav emerges in the middle of all this, obviously targeting what he thinks is his constituency, the Muslim voter, wearing a skull cap, playing politics with religion, even at that moment. Akhilesh Yadav was meant to be a next-gen leader. What happened to him?
He is definitely a next-gen leader, and it is incorrect to propagate this view that the Samajwadi Party is only focusing on a particular community.
Your Muslim leaders at Agra said that our constituents are upset with us. I want to ask you, what is the responsibility that the state government feels for those who have been killed in UP?
It has been said that there were lapses on part of the state government, so let us just go chronologically to know what the state government did. When there was this incident where 3 youths lost their life, FIRs were immediately registered. After that, arrests were also made pertaining to those FIRs. Then people from certain community, they gathered at a public place where the authority cracked down on those and ensured that a law and order is maintained. But the problem really started when opposition parties who are supposed to play a very constructive role, but when you start distributing fake videos, what kind of an opposition party are you?
That's a question for the BJP to answer. But my question to you is this, that there were 2 big gatherings of different religions and of different political affiliations that were allowed to be held. My submission to you is you successfully stopped a VHP. You successfully stopped a VHP yatra. Why could you not have successfully stopped these 2 meetings?
The permission for both of the gatherings were never given. The first gathering I was referring to, where a particular community came together and the law and order situation was controlled. But for the Mahapanchayat, the atmosphere there was very volatile. Why? Because now it is out in the media also. People were chanting Modi slogans. They had weapons there. And also this fake video. Now we have a national party which is propagating hatred. So this is not a spontaneous riot. It has been an orchestrated riot.
But of course it's a manufactured riot, but all of you have played a part in it.
You cannot
allow him to made more than 400 arrests.
I mean, the gathering that happened.
The state government made more than 400 arrests. They even slapped National Security Act on people. So all actions were taken.
Those people who are being shown on TV every day, making highly inflammatory comments.
Inflammatory speeches were made at both meetings.
Both.
They include your legislators.
They include... Mr. Kadir Rana was there.
Yes.
What was he doing?
I'm saying you booked BJP leaders, you booked the person who allegedly uploaded that video. But when the first gathering, which Gaurav is referring to, inflammatory speeches were made so inflammatory that they have to be beeped out every time.
That applies to both meetings.
Yes.
We have not shown the speeches of either of those meetings. Do you regret your legislators having been part of that Mahapanchayat? Do you regret it?
I am saying that neither should have been there. Action-reaction syndrome happens in this country, you know very well.
Will you take disciplinary action against your legislators?
No, they've been booked.
What about the party taking action, Barka? It is one thing to say the state government will take whatever action they have to.
We have found 41 AK-47 cartridges in Uttar Pradesh, and we are seeing an elaborate political blame game going on here, and a very cynical citizenry that really thinks the parties will stop at nothing. Shahid Siddiqui, you have been making the larger point that the Muslim voter is absolutely sick to death of being manipulated and of being treated like a narrow vote bank who is there to just exploit in every election. What's the big message emerging today politically, especially for India's Muslim voter?
Barka, you said at the very beginning that we are moving to 91. I'll say no, definitely. We are going forward. This is a different India, very well-informed India.
So why did the riots happen? If India has changed so much, why did the riots happen?
Information as well as misinformation is now moving very fast. So now it's a different world. Second point is that Muslims also have now emerged from what happened in 90s, what happened in 2002. Muslims don't want to live in the past. Muslims are looking at the future of this country and their own future. They don't want to be the bonded laborers of secularism in this country, that because secularism is to be saved, therefore vote for party A or party B. We will do nothing for you. We will only shout. We will only wear skull caps. We will only raise slogans.
So politics of facile symbolism doesn't work anymore.
It doesn't work because jobs have not come to Muslims. The betterment has not come to Muslims. Their economic development has not come to Muslims. It has always been symbolism. So symbolism is over.
Who is responsible for the polarization or the polarizing environment that we are seeing today?
I think polarization is taking place not only in this country, but globally. Everything is in flux now.
You've been saying that the Congress has not found a counter-narrative that's working.
Definitely not. Congress has not come out of its past. Congress is not realizing that this is a new India. Just by having young people, you don't have a new generation. You have to have new ideas, a new world which is demanding something else. New world is of what he says, materialism. People want material gains. People want jobs here and now, a future here and now.